Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. I am back. It is Sunday, September 7th. I hope everybody is well. Tell me who's here. Say hello. I have somebody with the initials KN for 3 readings. Yep, I gotcha. I hope everybody had a good week. It was a busy week. If you want to go ahead and ask your questions, because I think I know who's here. I don't know if it'll be a quiet day or not. People usually trickle in. I usually start like not at 4 the way I say I will, because something comes up and my children are like, Mom, even though they know I do my readings every day, every Sunday at 4 o'clock. So why don't you ask your questions and we'll get started. Hey, Wen, how are you? It's good to see you. How have you been? Ugh, I feel like I have a fuzz in my eyes. Should I attempt to convince the school I currently attend to give me a literature degree for the classes I have already done? Okay. So the feeling I get is you can feel like there's like 1 or 2 credits you'd be shy of getting it as like it doesn't feel like it feels like a minor or something like that, like a smaller degree. Doesn't feel like it would be. Oh, it's just on my screen. I was thinking it was on my face. I was like, hang on. Just find it. Okay, there. Why does it feel like it's like something small? I'm not saying it's a small degree, but it feels like there's, I don't know. I feel like they would do it, but I still feel like there's like 1 or 2 credits or something that you have to do in order to get it. And I feel like without those, maybe that would be like a certificate rather than, or maybe you have to do like a dissertation or something. There's something extra you have to do. Like, it's not like they're just gonna be like, yeah, sure, here's the degree. Like, there's something they're going to require in order to get it. It doesn't feel like too much. So maybe that's what you have to do in order to get it. But I feel like they would be okay with it. I mean, there is one person I feel like there might be like a board or something. And I feel like there's one person that's kind of a stickler about it. Like, feels that it's like not the exact route, but I feel like almost like they're retiring this year. So it might be like a non-issue. Like, they'll get convinced, like, and they're like, whatever. Okay. That's fine. I'm just kind of, I want to kind of, oh, I'm glad you enjoy it, Len. um, yeah, I do health readings. I'm going to like look into your energy. I don't want to do like a whole, hi, Kiki Law. I don't, so, okay. I'm not picking up on exactly where it is, but I felt I felt like something with my throat, and feeling like sore or uncomfortable afterwards. There. And it's like everything goes as planned, but maybe I didn't expect a sore throat or an uncomfortable throat. Hi, Rothka. I feel like your surgery is like, because when I'm asking, because I don't want to, I'm not reading your entire energetic body, like scanning your body to feel where it's at, and it's not popping up. But the throat was the first thing that like clicked to me. But I just asked, like, is it going to go well? I feel like it goes well. It's routine. It's a very simple surgery. Um, what surgery are you having? Do you mind me asking? I just feel like it's pretty routine. Um, but it feels like, oh, there's something about my throat. I'm not bariatric surgery. So maybe you weren't expecting that your throat is going to be sore. Like, because I feel sore up here, right? Um, it feels like otherwise everything goes very routine. Um, but my throat is sore, and I didn't expect that to have that be on top of. No, it's not heartburn, because I would feel heartburn here. This is here. This is what I'm saying. It's like, oh, I didn't expect that to hurt or be uncomfortable. So you can come back and tell me if that's the case. But that's what I feel like. I feel like, oh, that's sore. I wouldn't have expected that. So just have like popsicles and stuff on hand is the feeling I get. So it might just be maybe when they intubate or something, or maybe it's like it feels like more internal rather than like my neck being up back and my neck being sore with the way they're positioning me to get to my stomach and like have this whole area open. It feels like my throat is sore, and I would not have expected that. Um, it just feels like a couple days, but otherwise I feel like it's very routine. Recovery is fine. Of course, like with that, you know, like the process back into eating and being able to do that stuff again is slow, and it can be frustrating, but you'll be okay and you'll make it through it. Um, I'm going to say this and take it for what you want, because it just kind of keeps coming back up for me, because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna, but like they keep saying it is like, make sure you're doing therapy along with this, because I feel like there is some, and maybe you're already doing it, but I feel like they're reminding you, that encouraging you that like, um, to do therapy or get in a support group and kind of manage some of the other stuff, because I feel like there's maybe a little bit of body dysmorphia that's going to kind of come along, where you're going to feel like maybe not like in your, not as connected to your body once you lose the weight, or not as connected to yourself. And there's this other aspect of feeling like, I'm happy to be wrong about this, but it's a feeling of like I did a lot of boredom eating, or a lot of like, and it's this idea of like, or stress eating, and it's this idea of like, don't replace it with something else. So it's like, that's why it's important to get like, make sure you're in a support group of people that are going through this, have been through it. Make sure you have a therapist that's like kind of walking you through the process. Yeah. So As far as supplements, make sure you're getting iron and zinc. Don't take them together. Take iron with vitamin C to help it push you into your system to absorb it. Don't want to take zinc and iron together because they fight for absorption, and you're going to have a hard time with that. Do a methylated B complex type thing, because I know that that can be an issue. They're telling me like it's like when I finally feel like I'm actually like okay, and this is going to seem like a year out. So it's going to be a little bit of like a balance the first year, trying to figure out your body again and like the balance between all of that. I also feel like taking the vitamins instead of taking a multivite, like taking them the way I'm saying to take them, because it feels like maybe there might not be enough in the multivite to actually get you what you need for absorption. And then like, spreading them out throughout the day so you're not like struggling. When I say this to you, it's not that your stomach is not going to be healed or anything else. It just feels like it's going to take your body a while to like adjust and for you to be like in it, if that makes sense. Like feeling like yourself, feeling like you've got it, because it's just a whole process that your body goes through, and to like give yourself time and like that space to be okay with it. Asia, these are paid questions. They're $12 a reading, and I donate 30% to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. And there's a link in the description, but I will, hang on just a second, copy and paste it to the comments. At the end of this, if you want to hang out, if you don't have the money, I have like all these different Oracle cards, and I'll pull an Oracle card for free for you. But this part requires a little bit more of my energy and time, and I don't tell other people to work for free. So I've started to learn to say like, I shouldn't work for free either, even though like $12 is like kind of nothing, especially because I eat the PayPal fees, and I still donate 30% of the $12, not after the PayPal fees, because I just think, I mean, I don't need to be that cheap. Like, and $1 provides 3 meals for people. That's like pretty huge. And considering our current status of our country, I don't know if you're in the United States, but our administration kind of sucks, and they kind of don't like people, and they don't realize that like food and shelter and water and healthcare should be a right, not a privilege. I'll get off my soapbox. So, something in my eyeball there. Okay, sorry. I applied to the counseling department to finish my degree. Are they going to allow me to complete next year? I feel like you start the process. I feel like I said this before, right? You answered this already. I answered this already, I think, for you. Something about 2027 is showing up. So I don't know if it's like you apply and start, and then you actually finish in 2027. Does that resonate? Like it takes a little, like it's not like, I think I said you would start in the winter session or whatever, or the spring session, because spring starts probably like then. The spring session of 2026, I feel like you finish. You could start next summer. Okay, so you would finish in 2027. Yeah. That works. Timing works. I think you need to like kind of, I know this sounds weird, but it's like kind of going in with the idea of like, of course they would want me to, like, of course they want my money, because really you need to remember that universities and colleges and tech schools and all of that, at the end of the day, they are a business. Okay, UL, they're a business and they want money. It's like my daughter K prep, but like 5-year-old pre-K, because she was just misses the cutoff in her school year. So she's older. and she's supposed to go at this one place, which was a religious center. And while my husband is Jewish, I'm not. So like we're not raising them as a particular religion. And but her friends were boys, and they were like, they didn't put her in a class with any of her friends. And like, if I'm going to pay you at that point, I think it was 12 grand. I was like, and it wasn't required. Like I'm a stay at home mom. She didn't have to go to preschool. She didn't have to, and it certainly didn't have to be a religious one. So I was kind of like, can you put her in a class with her friends? And she's like, well, and this one was like, she has to have girlfriends. And I was like, we're leaving. And I was like, oh my God, what are you going to do? How are you going to find a school? And I was like, someone will be happy to take my money. And this, we sort of like, yeah, it was definitely what the fuck. like, but my attitude was, we went to a different religious institution. This one was Catholic. And it wasn't me stayed. It wasn't like that particular school. It was like, there was a new director there. She only stayed a year. She was awful. And any of the other directors would never have said something like that. Like, and it turns out, my daughter's autistic. So like, it's harder for her to make friends. So when she had friends, like, anyway, she had one little friend at this other school. So we went there, and, it was whatever. It was fine. But it was just like, I guess my attitude is like, it's a business. They're going to take your school, your money, and they'll work. And my feeling is genuinely they'll work with you. But when you kind of go in the attitude of like, of course they want my money. Like, of course they want me to finish this here. Of course, because it also affects their graduation rates. Like, they don't want to look like they don't have people. They're just, people start and then they don't complete. Like, that looks bad on them too. So they are willing to work with people. Just saying. Don't be afraid to ask. The worst you'll get is no, or they'll be like, no, you need to complete all these other things. Like, but like when you move with that energy, it behooves you to do that. We'll just say that. Just like I think I've said before, when I was a nurse, I was applying for jobs. I never was like, oh my God, I'll never get a job. Nobody will ever hire me. I was like, these motherfuckers need nurses. They're going to hire me. Right. So I'm not worried about it. I'll just go apply. And like, when I applied for Texas Children's, and I had been working in Austin at the time, and Austin pays nurses crap, because there's not enough competition. And that's like a whole business model. If you start looking at things, everything is business, it's different. But like when I applied there, they were just starting online applications. So I called them and I was like, hey, I submitted an online application. I don't know if it went through, but I'm going to be in town this weekend. I can come in on Friday. Do you, and they were like, oh, we'll interview you. They didn't even have the application. They're like, we'll interview you. Like you just, and it wasn't because, and then when I did travel nursing, like 2-3 years later, people were like, oh my God, I hope, like people were talking about how hard it was. And I was like, what do you mean it's hard to get hired? It's not hard to get hired. Like, and I really believe it had to do with my attitude about it. My belief system, law of assumption, was kind of like, of course they're going to hire me. Of course they want me. There was 2 different departments that wanted to offer me a job at Texas Children's, and I took the one that had better hours. And I actually really liked the NICU. It ended up being like a really good fit for me. So, okay. Okay, thank you. NR, I got your payment. And when I got yours. You're very welcome, Catherine. Who is youthful? I'm so like, you know what? I need to fix this. Hold on. Let me fix it, because it's from top chat to like, there's a way to filter the comments, and I always need to do. Oh, me. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm 47, so I love all the compliments. I'm going to go get, I don't know. I have to email this woman or text her or whatever. My friend had this like laser thing done where it like, basically like pulls all of your like sun damage and stuff like that to the surface and kind of clears all the old dead skin off. And I'm going to look into doing that. So I might have like a couple weeks where I look a little scabby. Oh, I look beautiful today. Thank you. I showered. I think sometimes when I do private readings, y'all, I'm going to be honest, like I am like in my sweats. I've been running around cleaning or exercising or whatever, and I just come and plop in so that I'm ready. Because sometimes I just don't, or I've been like doing stuff all day and I just don't have like, I'm like, you're not here to see whether or not I look great. You just want my skills and I can do those. However, and sometimes if I'm more stressed out about if I look good enough, then like I feel like maybe energetically that's not the best spot to sit in, right? I don't know. You love how my eyes pop. Thank you, by the way. Okay. I think that comment didn't come up. That's why I didn't see it. Okay. And my eye, I feel like I have like a fuzz in this eye right now. Anyways, random. Okay. So why don't you ask your question? And then I think I have Nancy. Maybe this isn't like last time I was on earlier in the day and it seemed like there was more people. And I'm wondering if earlier in the day, is it like in the morning is a better time than in the afternoon? Nancy, is that you? Sorry, window shopper. Are your initials N? NR? Oh, Jeep. Okay. Why are you always changing your name? I can't keep. Oh, I know. I just can't keep up. You're always changing it. It didn't show up yet, but it doesn't mean it won't. So I'll throw you in the list and then. Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. So why don't you go and Nancy and then Jeep. Oh, wait. When you said, do you have any messages? You just want a general reading? I always thought like my eyes were blue, but sometimes I think they're gray. I don't know. Because there's like when I wear certain things, they look different. Okay, Nancy, what is the cause of my increasing sensitivities to the environment and my drying and peeling skin? Do you have like a tongue sensitivity too? Because I just felt like my tongue feels very sore. I do think you have a zinc deficiency. I also think there's hormonal shifts, estrogen dropping, and which is also causing histamine overload. There's like a histamine overload and estrogen and hormone changes. And I feel like a zinc deficiency. There's a couple ways for you to tell. Okay, you will. So one way for look at like zinc deficiency shows up is if like, say you get COVID and you lose your sense of smell, that's often connected to a zinc deficiency. The other thing is like fissures in your tongue where it looks like they call it a geographic tongue if you want to look it up. I just learned that one. I was like, oh, I did used to have that. And I do have a zinc deficiency that I am working on by supplementing. I feel like you're borderline normal on your B vitamins and D vitamins. And so they probably haven't really make sure you're getting those. Sometimes you can, I mean, that's fine if you didn't. I was just saying, like, that's an example of where you might lose your sense of smell, um, like how it shows up of having a deficiency of zinc deficiency. They're like, oh, it can show up like you can have that sense of smell, but that can happen with the flu or other viruses too. It's not just COVID. Um, slate blue. Thank you. um, does the tongue soreness make sense? My sense of smell was more acute until I got COVID, and then it totally went away. And then took me years. I just feel sore in my tongue. So I don't know what that means. So I would look at, instead of, like, if you feel like none of that fits, what I would look at is histamine intolerance and hormonal shifts. So histamine intolerance can be like, look at your diet, look up, first of all, high histamine foods, because they're not unhealthy foods. They're normal foods that a lot of people eat. Avocado, banana, raspberry, strawberries, spinach, anything that's fermented, vinegar, sauerkraut, anything that's pickled, because vinegar. Seafoods can be high in histamine. What else? Dairy, gluten. Like, even though I've healed a lot of my stuff, I still can't have gluten. I don't feel like it's because I'm like, is it mold exposure? And I don't feel necessarily mold exposure. It could be, I mean, yes. No, when you don't have the right set of hormones, like if you're low in progesterone, which you probably are if you're 74, look at your diet. Any sort of hormonal support, or you not on anything? But look at your diet. Does it include a lot of high histamine foods? Because that's all also connected to your gut. Are you getting enough fiber to help clear out excess histamine? Are you drinking enough water? Which environmental things are you more sensitive to? I will tell you, when I started eating low histamine and started healing all of my gut and everything else and getting probiotics, but I couldn't take the probiotics right away. I had to and bone broth is high in histamine, things like that. Anything that's slow cooked, any leftovers are high. Like, the longer, it doesn't mean it's bacterially bad from a bacterial standpoint. It's safe to eat, but the longer it sits, the more histamine it has in it. So I will eat leftovers the next day, but I don't usually eat them past that. Not because they're bad. I'll leave them for my family and I'll give it to them. They'll be fine with it, but it's not great for me. So check and see what you're eating. Keep a food diary, because I feel like it's more connected to that. And gut health. Are you getting enough fiber? Fiber helps clear it out. Again, the water. Still open, Gabby? Oh, okay. Those are the things I would look at. But I don't feel like, oh, I've all of a sudden been exposed to something like mold or Lyme or anything like that. It feels more of a, and once you clear it up, once you kind of heal your gut, it took me, I did it slowly. I took everything out of my diet. I started eating. And the other thing you can look at is if you take an antihistamine, when you're I'm reacting to everything, and you take an antihistamine and it gets better, say you have heartburn and you take an antihistamine and it gets better, or you're having, I was having a lot of stomach issues, running to the bathroom and then not being able to do anything for hours after I ate. And I was eating, I went to a brat diet specifically. And it was bone broth and bananas and toast. It was destroying me. And then I like one day I was just like, I woke up and I was like, let me just take an antihistamine and see what happens. And my stomach was better and I was able to eat. So I sort of like kind of tiptoed into this realm of figuring it out. It's like, I just feel like it's a histamine issue, but there could be a little bit of a zinc deficiency. There's something with the tongue. I don't know why I keep getting something with the tongue. Look up, I would say, look up. That may come. That's fine. I don't think it's necessarily, what I'm telling you is if you have a reaction to this food, just try taking either an antihistamine or I think it's famotidine as a histamine block, I think, which is like Pepcid. If that decreases your symptoms, that will tell you right there that I'm telling you it's a histamine issue. It's an H2 blocker. Yeah. If that's what makes you feel better, start eating a low histamine diet, increase your fiber, eat things like cruciferous vegetables are great. If you start to see yourself getting better, once your body starts to kind of calm down on the inflammation, then you can introduce things like probiotics and digestive enzymes. Because as we get older, we produce kind of less. So I get that you're saying you don't take any medications, but it is a quick way to kind of tell you if what I'm saying is right. So you don't necessarily have to take Benadryl, which is, I take a children's Benadryl when I'm having an act up. So I don't take a full adult dose. I take a 12.5 milligram dose and it gives me enough edge. Or I take a famotidine that's the but that's my feeling is that it's actually not an actual allergic reaction. It's more of a histamine overload in your body, which can come from stress. It can come from age. It can come from, you can have those flare-ups from viral infections, hormonal changes, that kind of stuff. And, life can be kind of stressful right now. Let's be honest. And it feels like stressful for different reasons at different ages. Okay. When? When, and then Gabby. It might make sense later, but it's like the sides of my tongue feel sore. So just like pop that in the back of your mind. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember what it was doing. Jeep, just double check that yours went through because it's not popping up for me. It doesn't mean it's not there, but I know that there's sometimes also a delay. Did you get a verification that you paid for it? I mean, I'm happy to be patient. You're here all the time. Okay. Let's do when? Do you want me, let me see. Do you want to do categories? Do you want me to look at work? Do you want me to look at personal life, health, love? I felt like tension all over your body. Like tight here. Did you work out recently or do something like a Pilates class or whatever? I just feel kind of like tight. I also feel like a renewed sense of like happiness or energy. Like I feel like a new bounce in my step. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the fall. I feel like you're energetically, and you could probably look at your astrological chart And it would say something like, I don't know, like for me, I don't start feeling like the new year comes until like the spring because I'm Aries rising. I just feel like this is a really good energetic time for you. Are you here, Wen? I also feel a pressure here on my right side. So it's like, I don't know if there's dental work that needs to be done. There's something about an old lower right, but there's something brewing up here on the upper side too. This one feels like maybe a leaky crown or something like that, or like food catch between two teeth. Did you order a new purse recently? Because I just saw like a new purse is coming. Like, oh, they have it. Like it was like this feeling of like, oh, and I feel like a good price on it. And that I know that sounds so weird. And then I also just feel like things are going a little bit more smoothly with work. Um, I almost feel like you've just been very busy. What is the yes to? Sorry. I know I can't believe fall's here either, but I also feel like it's a renewed sense of. So I want to say this. I feel like at work you're going to have to be a little bit more like give more direction or be more direct and directive. That's not like a great, but it's this feeling of like, maybe I don't normally do this because I don't want to come off as bossy or bitchy. And I feel like you're going to kind of have to be over the next couple of months. No, Joelle, you can. Um, like you have to give more direction. You have to kind of guide things. It's this idea of like not, you can't just allow it to fall into place. It's one of these things where you sort of have to take the lead or make the initiative, is the feeling I get. I don't know if that resonates on any level. I don't know if it's like a project you're doing, because I know there's like certain things that you always have, but I don't know if there's like a new project or something, but it feels like having to. Oh, is the purse black that you're waiting for? You know, that's weird. Maybe like a Kelly shape is the kind of the idea I'm seeing. I'm not saying it's gonna be a Kelly, but it's like that kind of a shape. It's funny when spirit will come through when people are like, just show me a message. I'm like, they're showing me this purse. But I saw it like on a website still. I didn't see it in my hands yet, but it's like, you're going to get it and you're going to get a better price than you think on it. So It's busy, but I'm also hoping a new opportunity comes along. I know. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Everybody here, a lot of my regulars are like Regina's usually here. She hasn't shown up yet, but you're gonna visualize UL coming back on here and be like, oh my God, I got offered this position. I'm so excited. We can manifest for each other. I'm genuinely not getting anything on a new position yet, but it doesn't mean that it's not. It's like feels more like I'm not supposed to know. And maybe that's also taking more initiative and being more direct is also about like continuing with the job hunting thing. It's just like to stop feeling like you're being a bitch or too pushy or too like out there because you're not like at all. Oh, it's a black purse with gold hardware, not a quote newish shape of like a Kelly bag, you know, where it's like, what is that, a trapezoid? Maybe Kelly is more like this, but it just feels like a trapezoid. I don't even know if that's like the right. I don't like. I'm talking about it with such confidence, like I know, and I don't. Um. Okay, Jeep, I got your payment. Gabby, I got your payment. Um. Yeah, you're gonna get that, and it's actually you're gonna get it for less than you thought you had, or somehow it's costing you less. So I don't know if it's the trade in or so maybe you get more money for the bags that you traded in than you thought you would. But go you. Okay. Jeep, Gabby and Jeep, you guys both have your readings. I was like, it's like 2026. I saw you putting like a yoga mat down on the ground. Do you do yoga? I know that's weird, but it's like, I think you may start a yoga practice it feels like trying to center yourself and work on some of the anxiety and worry. And it's sort of like it's done out of like F it, I just need to do something. And this is something I can do easily in my apartment or my small place. Like I don't have to pay a ton of money for it. Um, it genuinely feels kind of like I need to try anything to feel better and change my attitude. No, I'm not saying you have an attitude, but that's the feeling I get. Like, so I feel like there's going to be a spot where you are pretty down in the dumps. I have to be honest with you. Like, there was a point in college after my freshman year where I was like, I was miserable because I had a really rough roommate my freshman year in college. My first roommate only stayed a couple weeks. She was really homesick and she ended up going home and going to like a tech school near her house. And the new roommate, I was like, oh my God, yeah, let's be roommates. Like I didn't vet because I was just like, so, okay. Like, I mean, I didn't, and she was awful. Um, Her boyfriend, who I ended up, it turns out I went to high school with him. He graduated a year ahead of me. She was like, he was driving up to see her and she's like, oh my God, laughing. She's like, he's so dumb. And she was serious. She wasn't like, oh, he's such a dummy. Like, she was like, he's really dumb. But then the same, on like the other side of her face, she was like, I can't wait to marry him, to have, because she was just awful. She was an awful human being. She was vindictive and like weird. And so I was very like feeling low and in the dirt after freshman year. And I went to one of my friends and I was like, I just need to try something. So I went to church with her, which was like, now that I kept trying different churches and I was like, but I was looking for anything because I just wanted to feel better. And that's the feeling I get, is like, I just want to feel better. Let me try this. Lithium's kind of an old school drug. I gotta be honest. I get that you're saying I do not like yoga, but I feel like it's literally like, I just need to do anything. Like, that's where it starts. And I actually feel like you end up enjoying it. I would say make sure you're taking vitamin D supplements, like a D3K2, so that you don't end up with kidney stones, because it helps push the calcium back in your bones. The K2 part does. D3K2. You've talked a lot about before about like where you're at, that it's really dark and kind of, don't get a lot of sunlight starting, I think, in October. Start taking that, because you might have a deficiency, which can, like if you look at vitamin D deficiency, it can contribute to depression and sleep issues and things like that. So it's not, I started taking, y'all, it's like crazy what vitamin and mineral deficiencies can cause. I started taking iron, and it turns out like that I actually needed iron to help with motivation. And the reason why I started taking it, I'd be like, what? Because there was a TikTok video that was like, if you look at like the whites of your eyes, like this part of your, not the whites, but like the skin right here on the lower lid, it should be pink, and like more pink than not. Mine was white. And I was like, connections between that. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And I never felt particularly tired, but I just felt easily overwhelmed. Yours is black under your eyes. Like, oh, here. So that can be vitamin deficiencies. That can be B complex issues, C, D. Yeah, you're probably deficient in some vitamins. I suspect a lot of people are. So start with D3K2. Take a good B complex. When you take the D, make sure that you're taking it with a meal or some kind of fat, because it's a fat soluble vitamin, which means it digests easier with fat, absorbs easier. But that's I see you kind of going more on a self-discovery and like healing stuff in 2026. I know that's not maybe what you want to hear, but that's what they're showing me. And it feels like, I'm going to say this, the end of the year into the beginning of the year might feel pretty like heavy for you. And that's why you end up doing it. I'm not getting anything on the job stuff, to be honest with you. I don't feel like you're unemployed. I feel like there's money coming in. I should say that. But I'm not getting I have so much money. I literally saw you like throwing a yoga mat down on the ground. I was like, I've gone into doing this from a active desperation of just trying to find something to help to feel better. So I sort of feel like that's like a take heed kind of warning thing, but also knowing that when I say take heed, I mean, it's a tower moment. It feels like there's a pretty low aspect of the way you're going to feel. And, sometimes when we find our movement to heal things, it's not because we're in an okay kind of low place, but like whatever, like when we find our motivation to really make changes and move forward, it's not because we're in an okay place. It's because we're in a really low, crappy place and we want to fix it. I feel stagnancy in your book writing over the next couple of months until kind of like this all sort of like the yoga, everything sort of shifts you into moving into that. So I feel like maybe you start up again in February or March, and that's like where you're sort of fixing. Alf, let me see if I got the payment. I do not predict death. So, yes, Alf, I got it. I don't do death predictions, so I'm not going to even touch that. It doesn't mean I don't get death predictions. It means I don't share them, because I have found that I have gotten a lot of them, and I don't feel like it benefits anybody in any way. It doesn't benefit the grieving process. It doesn't help you prepare anymore, because even if you look at people who know their family members are on hospice or something like that, they're still devastated when they pass. I mean, there is a sense of like relief that they're not suffering, but at the same time, there's still devastation. There's still loss. So I don't do death predictions. And even like the Trump stuff, when people are predicting his death, I will tell you, I don't feel him dying anytime soon. Do I feel that he's incapacitated and shouldn't be president? Sure. Not just because I hate him, but also because like he's got issues. But I do feel like the sense of like their ability and their power are deflated by next year. But that's just stress is there are things, and that's like stress sucks. So you sort of have to you can't avoid stress. Like it is part of the human experience. So what can you do to help mitigate it? What can you do to help process through it? I'm just saying, they showed me yoga, hate it or not. There are things that I thought I would never do, and I did, because I was like, oh, I actually kind of like this. So I just won't predict his death. So I'm going to move on now, though, okay? Who did I say was after Jeep? Gabrielle, if you have a question, and then I think I have Alf and Gabrielle and Alf. Do you see us buying a home out here soon in the future? We did pause looking just because market is crazy here, waiting for interest rates to come down. I feel like you'll resume looking again in 2026, but I don't feel like you find anything until 2027. I'll say this, maybe you find something in 2026, but through the closing process and everything else, it might be 2027 before you move in. I don't feel like that's a bad thing, though. I just feel sort of like that's just where you're at. Allie, I'm taking questions. Gabby signed up for a yoga class for Wednesday, and I'm actually super excited for it. I felt that way on Wednesday when we started up the synchro practices again for ice skating, and my coaches keep two of the women who are actually my daughter's coaches are like, you should be skating with the team. Like there's a really good team, and there's the team that I would qualify for. But I was like, I know that I could. I'm watching them. I'm like, I know that I could do those things. but I just would rather, I'm just doing the exhibition this year, and then next year I'll do a competition. I'm not ready for competition yet. Yeah, I just feel like it ends up being like just that's you just start looking in 2026, but not seriously till, and then I do feel like 2027 is when you move in. And it feels like the first quarter, not like way into 2027. Um, and I feel like then you'll feel more settled or more connected to the community you're in. I always appreciate you too. Thank you. Um, Alf, do you want to go? And Ailey, I got yours. Or Ollie? Because I see your name, so I'm like, I said Ailey, then I said Ali before. Ali? I don't know what the heck I'm saying. Sorry. Okay. You have a great week too. A general reading for Alf. So I feel like you're a little dehydrated, but I also feel like you really have opened up your clairvoyance and your clairaudience. I feel like I quickly kind of dropped into the energy of feeling open. Have you been working on doing meditation and connecting with your own intuition? Um, they're talking about doing more breath work to help kind of ground you into this energy as it moves through you. Cause I feel like it might be a little overwhelming. Like I'm doing meditation, everything opens up, and I just feel a little overwhelmed. I also feel like you've been looking for signs from your guides, and I really do feel like you get yours through music. So, um, I don't know. That's just what they're showing me. Does any of that resonate when I'm saying that? I'm not done. This is like sort of the process of going with whatever they show me first. Yeah, I'm just going to plug in my heater. I'm a little cold. Are you there, Alf? Does any of that resonate when I'm saying that? Yes? Okay. Hang on. Actor says I must drink water. Bad kidneys. Yeah. I just felt like really dry. um, have you had a fluoride toothpaste, but like a hydroxynanopapatate, which is what they use in Europe? You've heard and seen things before. I don't know. I just felt like maybe my teeth are don't know if brittle is the word, or are you having dreams about broken teeth or cracking teeth? They're not showing me broke. It's like that feeling of like crumbling. I'm not saying they're literally crumbling, but it just, to me, that might be a way to get it to need to strengthen your teeth. Do you grind your teeth too? I felt really tight in my jaw. Yeah, I'm even feeling my lower left here. Your teeth are bad. Okay. So I feel like, I know this sounds weird, but switching toothpaste might help. What I'm getting right now. Hopefully that's not disappointing. Alicia, it's your turn, and then I think Joelle, did you want a reading or no? I think we'll switch over then to just, you guys want to ask general what's going on in the world, or you want an oracle card reading. I will do those for free. And then I have to head off because I have to go pick up a child from a play date. So Allie, you're up. Okay. I have a divorce looming. I'm saturated with my work as well. I'm hoping things start looking up soon in terms of career. Insight on person coming in your way. Okay, sorry to laugh because you're like, divorce looming. Is someone new coming in? I feel like I keep getting 6 months is actually when you start dating. I don't see anything anytime soon. And it feels more of like nobody catching your attention enough to want to pull you away from your being busy with work. And even when this person comes in, first of all, I feel like he's going to be short. I feel like I'm not jumping in and going crazy for it. I feel a little jaded by the process. So it feels more about just seeing if it's possible for me to be really interested or find somebody, or I want to say it feels more like practice. They're telling me like over the next 6 months, you're going to learn a lot about yourself and do a lot of like, shadow work, as they say, like kind of looking at the inner stuff and where your belief systems come from. Why do you believe how you're supposed to show up in relationships, or how other people show up in relationships, things that sort of make you tick, what your belief systems are, all of that. I almost feel like this person that comes in is like, not, I don't feel like it's like love at first sight. It feels more friendshipy that maybe grows into something, but I don't feel like this fast paced moving of being like swept off my feet. I feel like it's really important to heal from the stuff that you went through in your marriage, because I feel like you're going to be a bit like triggered easily and reactive. And I don't think that that's who you are at a core. I just feel like on edge about having somebody treat you the way your husband did. Um, I, yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely writing a book about that would have a lot to do with shadow work. Um, so like, I feel like there's going to be things that are going to make you more reactionary, and it's not really who you are at a core, but it's like being in a little bit of fight or flight mode. So seeing that, do the somatic work, right? To help release anything that's sort of stuck in your body so that you can be in relationship with someone else again. I don't feel a real, honestly, a real like strong, it, it doesn't mean it doesn't start before then, but like where I would say like I'm in this dedicated relationship, minimum 18 months, maybe even 2 years. There is something significant that will happen in 4 years. Does it mean that I don't meet somebody before then? No, maybe I'm meeting this person in 18 months to 2 years, or we start this relationship, then maybe we move in with each other in 4 years. But it's like those are timelines that seem significant for me. But I feel like as you go through this process, you're gonna worry a little, being reactionary, or like, am I going to be able to be in a relationship again? Because I feel like this is reminiscent of my ex. This is like, I'm not doing this again. I also feel like as you're going through this process, they're talking about, I heard protect your peace. So that's going to be a real big theme for you, basically for the rest of your life, is like moving through life in a way that where you're protecting your peace. How can you work with your breathing to become clairvoyant? Um, yeah. And the thing I think you triggers you at one point may trigger you a later down the line, but in different ways, may create different reactions. While it may not have the explosive reaction it did in the past, or the long drawn out reaction where it's like, maybe I'm hurt and you know grieving something for like a month, and this time I'm just like pissed off for a couple hours, but it evolves and happens in a different way, right? And I also feel like you're going to be going through a lot of like, oh, weird, that was actually kind of abusive and shitty, like, and I didn't know how to process it at the time. I'm not seeing any big huge career changes for a few years. Feels a little bit out. Okay, so let's do, I'm going to just address this, like, how can you work with do breath work to open up your clairvoyance? So I don't know that I would do like, it's not like a this or that. It's like it's part of it, right? But it's not the all of it thing. You don't lose it. I think when people think, oh, I lost all of these things, it's like, well, okay. There are people that ice skate as kids. I use this as an example because I've witnessed it. It's a very tangible way of visualizing something. They took lessons for years and years. They did all kinds of jumps and everything else, and then like they lost interest and they stopped ice skating for a decade or two. And then they decide as an adult, they're like, I really want to take that up again. I don't even think I could ice skate anymore. And you watch them get on the ice, and it's like no time has passed. Maybe they're a little bumbly or stumbly, but they are still really, really good. So you don't lose your abilities. This idea where people say, like, "Oh, I just don't have it anymore." Yes, you do. You just haven't used them. So it feels like you don't have them. You haven't paid attention to them. So it feels like you don't have them. The other thing is my clairvoyance has changed over time. When I was a kid, I've always had dreams that have come true. that has not changed. Now I understand how many of my dreams are actually prophetic dreams. It's very interesting. In fact, the majority of my dreams are. But I see figures as more in my mind's eye now. I see them more whole and complete and solidified. Even when I do see them around, they're no longer just shadows. That's how they always were as kids to me, just as a kid, just shadows. Yeah, so that's actually your claircognizance. Do I think the divorce will go through in your favor? You're now getting into more and more questions. That's like a whole reading. So I'm going to move on, and I'm just answering his question because I think it's valuable to everybody, and we'll do quick. Accepting possible. I might be buffering, just so you guys know, because I just got a little warning. It might be. It's like just acknowledging it at first, asking to open it up more, and like even the little things that you get, like a quick flash in your mind's eye or just an image. Don't go, oh, it's just an image. Be like, oh my God, that's so awesome. I don't know what it means. Can you help me figure it out? Right. So then you ask your guides to give you signs, to give you more explanation, to reinforce it. If you think you see a shadow or whatever figure, you're going to ask and say thank you. The breath work is just doing meditation work. I think that just kind of opens up your third eye more. As you do it, you'll start to see images in your mind's eye. What's up, Buggy?
Are we almost done?
Almost done because we got to go get Daisy.
Okay.
Okay.
How many more minutes?
15?
Okay.
Love you, Buggy. Mwah. Okay. Those are the things I would do. I don't know. I don't necessarily think meditation works to open up your third eye, but set an intention before you do it. So like if you just go in and you're like, show me anything, like that's like when you guys do the readings where you're like, okay, what do you want? It's like, just ask what you want to know. Cause like the general readings are sort of like, is that all? Well, you said, show me anything. So they're like, hey, she's got this purse she wants to get. Like she's going to get that. Like if you want to know something, ask them. That's like, cause anything is anything. You want to know what you ate for dinner? Okay, we'll talk about that. Like they're going to just start giving things really to validate that I'm connecting with you. And I think sometimes we do that because we're scared or we're embarrassed to ask what we really want to know, or we don't want to seem petty or shallow or whatever, or I don't know, but really just ask specifically what you want to know. Same thing when you set an intention before you doing a reading. Hey, show me X, Y, and Z. Show me what it is to like where I'm going to be 6 years from now. And then you have to write stuff down. Because how else are you going to, you're either not going to remember or you're going to, I do this a lot. I think I saw that. Write it down. Yeah, be specific. This is like for everybody in general. And because I genuinely believe, because I've been in this sitter spot where I'm like, I just really hope I get a message. Just share anything with me. I'll like, and it's like, no, be specific because there's something you really want to know about. Just ask it. They don't care. Like, that'd be like being like, hey, Siri, just tell me anything. And you're like, no, you want to know what's the weather going to be tomorrow. Ask what the weather's going to be tomorrow, right? Like be specific so you don't like get some random weird stuff because your guides will tell you anything. They're not judging you. They don't really care. You want to know about when that relationship comes in? Let's talk about it. Let me show you what I see here. Let's show you why it's going to be a struggle. Let's show you where you're going to struggle in life with that. I don't know. Sometimes they don't show me everything because there's an unfolding that has to happen. Like, look, I got predictions about like all kinds of dreams all around the events around both of my uncle's deaths, my grandmother's death, my my husband's friend's death from college. Another thing I got about a different friend of his was like, oh, he's going to die soon. And that was just like, I looked at his picture and heard that. But like, I get tons of dreams around that and some other events that have occurred in my life. And I think that sometimes I'm getting, not because I'm not supposed to do anything about any of them. Those are already set in motion. Those are things that are going to happen and I have no control over it. But I think that I had those dreams around that for me to understand a certain other couple of dreams are going to come to pass as a heads up. Like, so that I can trust in that, right? They give me enough of all this other stuff, not because it's so important that I have that information, but so that that experience knows that, oh, that dream happened, that's coming to pass too. That's as a heads up and a preparing. So, but when I do, before I fall asleep at night, hey, I want to dream about X, Y, and Z event that's coming up. I want some information around it. When I do a meditation, hey, I'd like to connect with this guide and kind of look at this area. This is where I want to grow. Okay. Does anybody want an oracle card reading? Because I really need to get going. I've got the Hafiz. I've got the Enchanted Map. I've got Inner Child. What's another one you guys like? The Wisdom of the Oracle. And oops, I just dropped a couple of these. I'm gonna pick them up. And angel card readings. Yeah, write them down. Turn this off so my contacts aren't drying out. We're okay without an oracle card reading. Allie, do you want an oracle card? One. You know what? I'm going to say no to that only because crunch, and the Kali one is so, like, the descriptions are so long. It takes like 10 minutes to get through their description of one card. Can you pick another one? I picked the other ones just because they're a little bit shorter, but I will do the Kali one next week and we'll make sure I make enough time. But I have to go get my daughter. But her descriptions are like, they're such great cards. I love them so much. But her descriptions are, all of them are like packed. Like this one has 1, 2, 3, 4 full pages of reading. Anyone I think you should go with? Let's do Inner Child. It's a little bit longer. All right. It's time to celebrate. Cultivate an air of celebration today. That seems good. Celebration is such a wonderful experience in this life, one that can bring about a sense of community and pleasure. Even the smallest of reasons to celebrate is reason enough. As it is the spirit of celebration and not necessarily the physical adornments that makes a gathering of people something extraordinary. If you have pulled this card, then it may be time to cultivate an air of celebration this week through action and spirit. In addition, this card could mean that it's time for you to celebrate yourself and your accomplishments. This practice can be done with others or by yourself, but the key aspect is to focus on what you have already accomplished, not what you might be waiting for in the future. If we do not celebrate ourselves in our current moments, then it might be hard to celebrate ourselves in our future moments as well. Self-care exercise. Create space that encourage play, laughter, and fun. Invite others to join you and take pleasure in their company. Savor the simple beauty that good food and good friends can bring. How does it feel to your inner child to celebrate or to plan a celebration? This is the responsive journaling prompt. What of excitement or expectation bring up in you? Are you worried about being let down or not being enough? If you are experiencing any negative feelings around celebration, what can you do today to bring joy into it? Okay. All right. Anyone else? Speak now or forever hold your peace till next week. So not really forever, but I'm just going to get this here. Anyone? Okie dokie then. I'm going to say have a fabulous week, and I will see you next week. You're legit planning a dinner and was on the fence on where I am internally. I always find it interesting how these cards really line up. So I think it's a fun little easy exercise to share so everybody gets a little something, especially if they can't afford a reading or maybe don't have a specific question they're looking for. All right, I'm going to say hasta luego. I will see y'all next week. Have a good one.